Hello everybody, and welcome to a very different style of video than what I usually make. Today, as the title suggests, I'm going to be doing a backflip tutorial. Now, I'll save my kind of thoughts, tips and tricks and why I prefer this method near the end, because I know some of you are here just for the tutorial. So let's get straight into that. If you want to stick around later for my thoughts, tips, tricks and what have you to get better, then stick around. But let's get straight into the tutorial, because I know that's why you guys are here. I'm getting so many funny looks right now, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so before we begin, obviously make sure you're warmed up. I am not liable for any injuries caused. Right, let's continue. So this method utilizes a move called the Makaku, which I will show you briefly. But essentially what we're going to do is we're going to do this move, and then we're going to progressively go steeper and steeper. I know I said I'd save my thoughts until the end, but this is really good because, well, you can do it all by yourself. No mats, and you can do it as gradually as you want. So here's what the move looks like. So first, to determine which arm you're going to use, do a jumping 360. I twist to the left, so I use my left arm. If you twist to the right, then use your right arm. What we're going to do to begin with is get down into a squat like this. Take your plantar arm, you're going to put it in front, and you're going to point your fingers towards the arm you're using. And then what you're going to do is, as you're going to plant it down like that, your fingers are going to stay like that. So do you see how my fingers are pointing this way still? So what we're going to do is we're going to plant our arm like that, and then we're going to kick over the top like that. Now, if that's a little bit scary, what you can do is you can go down and you can literally just go over the side like that. And the idea of this is that you go over the side and then you slowly make it more and more vertical until you're basically going upside down. And here's what a progression might look like. Once you're comfortable going over your head, try introducing your other arm, and then you've basically got a back handspring. Now, it's important to mention you don't need a full back handspring to continue. If you're able to just go over the side slightly and jumping and committing, that's all you need. From here, you're just going to start jumping higher and higher until you don't need to put your hands on the floor. And here's what that might look like. If you're too scared, if you're having trouble committing, then just retrace your steps. There is nothing wrong with just dialing it back a little bit and double checking you're doing the correct technique. I'd also recommend recording yourself in this fashion here, so you can determine how far over you're going. The trickiest thing with backflip is getting over the fear. So once you can do that and you're over the fear, you're pretty much golden. Just keep practicing, try and jump and tuck, and yeah, you got yourself a backflip. So you've got your backflip, you've got a backflip. How can you make it better? People overcomplicate backflip so much, okay? And this is the good thing about this technique. You can go at your own pace. I see so many people learning backflip with a spotter, and they get stuck in this cycle of not being able to remove the spotter. I've seen people using that spotter technique at the gym I go to, and they've been doing the same thing for nearly a year because they've built up those habits. They can't even think of doing a backflip without that supporting hand on their lower back. Which is why I don't care what your background is, I don't care if you're a gymnast or a tricker or learning this for fun, this method is the best method because you're learning on your own rules, on your own terms. So now that you've got this backflip, how can you improve it? The biggest thing that new people do when they've learned a backflip is they're tilting their head too far back as they're doing the move. In tricking and trampolining, your body will follow where your chin goes. So if you're pointing your chin up and back, guess where you're going to go? Now, most of the time, this is due to a fear element because they want to spot the ground as soon as possible. And here's what I mean about people overcomplicating the backflip. A backflip is just jumping straight up. If you look at this example of my backflip, you can see my feet pretty much land in the same position I take off. I'm going straight up, I'm grabbing my knees, and you can see there's that moment where I just float in the air. That's what you want. So in short, if you want a higher, more consistent backflip, you want to be jumping straight up. I used to have the same problem of tilting my head back and not getting a very high backflip. So how can we fix that? In any trick, there is a technique called spotting. Now, you do this already, whether you notice it or not. When you're doing a backflip, you spot the ground and then you let go. You don't even think about it. And that's where people get scared, because when you're introducing a new technique, you do need to think about it. It feels foreign because the backflip is usually a muscle memory type of thing. You don't even think about it. So here's what I want you to do to get your backflip more vertical. I want you to stand neutral, find something you can focus your eyes on. In my example, there is a tree right in front of me. And what you want to do, as you're here, you set normally, drive your arms up, you jump, and I want you to keep your eyes forward until you reach the peak of your height. As soon as you reach that peak, that's when you can grab and tilt your head back. And this is what it might look like. Notice how my backflip was a lot higher than the previous attempt when I was tilting my chin back. The best way to practice this is just by doing standard jumps, full committed jumps, and just do a knee tuck, like so. Doing that move will get you used to that full commitment, eyes forward, and also your legs are chambered, ready to grab. And then I like to actually do 5 of those just as a warm-up. And after I've done 5 of those, just full committed jumps, and once I'm warmed up, I then progress to warming up with some backflips. And that's basically it. Really hope you enjoyed, really hope this helped. As mentioned previously, I think doing the Makaku technique is by far the best, because you're learning at your own pace, you can do it wherever you want, and you learn based off your body. You're not locked to 2 people having to spot you or anything like that. This is a really progressive move. And also, a backflip is a perfect gateway trick. There are loads of tricking moves which are easier and less scary than a backflip, but I cannot reiterate enough, backflipping is just jumping straight. You jump up straight, you grab your legs, physics does the rest of you. The rest of you? The rest for you. I have lost my backflip several times. I used this method to learn it once. I got fat and lost it, and I had to relearn it. And I used this technique both times to relearn my backflip. And this also teaches you different ways to slowly progress into a trick. Overall, the Makaku technique is by far the best. It might take a little bit of time, but if you want a quick, safe, and effective way to do a backflip and have that technique be a gateway to every other trick, then this is the method for you. I've used this method to practice swing throughs, to practice pop fulls, just being able to do half the trick and then land on your hands to safely bail. It is by far the best technique. So I really hope you enjoyed, I really hope you learned something. Let me know if you want any more tutorials on tricks. Let me know if you've got any questions. But yeah, that'll pretty much do it for me. Be safe. If you hurt yourself, it's not my fault.